Okay, boom. We're going live right now. I'm waiting on the notification. Mm,
I'm gonna look at this. Ugh.
Okay, just like that. And boom. And we are live. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to a very special edition of Off the Record on the People's Podcast this afternoon. We have an incredible guest with us today, one who is going to give us some magnificent information as well as inspiration, and that is none other than the real estate agent herself, Sister Salima Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum.
Like some
Well, we are very excited to hear from you. The first thing that the viewing audience wants to know is how did you get into real estate?
okay, how I got into real estate was actually I was introduced by one of our sisters, Sister Amatullah.
Hmm.
We were talking one day, and then she asked me, "What do you do?" And I told her what I do. At the time, I was working for the school system, and then she asked me, "Well, how much do you make?" And then I told her how much I made, and she was like, "Sis, you can make more than that in a week." She was like, "So you should get your real estate license." So I went ahead and got my real estate license, and I was licensed there in Georgia.
Okay, great. And can you please explain to us, like, gives us the basics of real estate, what you do, and how you can assist us as far as buying or selling, please.
Is that buy or selling? Okay, so yeah. So what I actually do, I help people buy, sell, or invest in real estate. So I do have notes in front of me because I do not want to get sidetracked. I'll be
Yes,
all over.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So again, I help people buy, sell, and invest in real estate. But before I get into that, I want to just go over like the value of home ownership and what mindset that you should have. Like we look at the our basic needs. We got food, clothing, and shelter. We go buy food, we go buy clothing. But when it comes to shelter, we're not thinking about buying. We're
Okay.
gonna lease. So with that mindset, we want to get into the mindset of owning. It's like we want to own where we live. When you own where you live, it gives you a mindset of being responsible. Like if you go when you go through the home buying process, that makes you responsible because you're gonna have to budget. You gotta, how much you can spend here, work on your credit. So that takes discipline. So
Hmm.
also with home ownership comes, the pride with in home ownership. It also have an opportunity of wealth building. Saying for say like once you own your property becomes your net worth. So whatever your property is, that's how much you worth. And also it appreciates in value over time. I'm going to say a disclaimer, like not all the time, but it has the ability to appreciate. And then there's this little thing called equity as well. So we can write a book on leasing versus home ownership. We real estate agents, we got that. We got that down pat. But one of the important aspects is when you purchase or you have a mortgage, is your monthly expense as far as going towards your housing. So when you have a mortgage, you're going to be paying less as opposed to if you're leasing. So if you look at it this way, when you're leasing, if your landlord has a mortgage, you're paying the landlord's mortgage, and then you're paying something on top of that as well because they're going to put their money in their pocket. And when I talk about appreciation over time, your rent is going to go up every year. So your rent goes up every year, and then that leads to instability because most people, their rent going up every year, they frustrated. So even with home ownership, it does lead to stability because you have somewhere for your family to live, and then you're not moving every year because your rent is going up. So those are the benefits, and also that you can leave a legacy to your children. Home ownership, over time, you can leave a legacy to your children. So when I come into the picture with buying, I'm going to ask you, who do you know that want to buy, sell, or sell real estate or invest? And most time, they're gonna say, "Well, I don't know." So my next question is, "Well, what about you? Like, why aren't you a owner?" So most time they will say, "My credit," or "I can't afford it." So with credit, that's the huge thing. We not thinking about credit. And the reason, so I asked, that's my next question, like, what is your credit score? And most people do not know their credit score. Unfortunately, most people don't know their credit score. It's like you should know what your credit score is. It's like you should know it like your last name. You should be able to say Miss Muhammad 795. But the thing is that we don't know our credit score. So since we don't know it, we tend to neglect it. So if your credit score is challenged, because people usually say I have bad credit or good credit, like I said, they don't know it, I would refer you to a credit repair company. You can either do it yourself or you can go through a credit repair company. With me as a realtor, if you hire me as a realtor, what I like to do is as soon as you have a desire to buy, I work with you. Most realtors like you're not ready, so they throw you back into oblivion and you out there swimming and you're not going to buy a home like 5, 10 years later. But what I do is I'll work with you and get you buyer ready. So let me see, with your credit, you work on your credit repair. And then the next thing we're going to look at is how much your income is. And then let me go back to credit, your credit report.
Yes,
So when we work on your credit report, we wanted to get it to like 620. You may heard that you may have a credit score of 580 for FHA loans. That's a different type of loans. But 620 is a good one to start with. So once we get it up to 620, we will send you to a lender, and then the lender will look at your income and look at your debt. So if that's favorable, the next step that they would do is give you a pre-qualification letter. So when they give you a pre-qualification letter, then you can go shopping. Like they say, okay, 250,000, and then you would go shopping for your home. So what I would do is sit you down, like we would make a list and see what you like in a home. And then we will go shopping, find something you like, and then we will help you to present an offer. But at this point, I want to talk about what's really important about having a buyer agent, because before the industry wasn't regulated. So with that being said, a lot of the buyers were out there in the industry. They weren't represented by the sellers, so they would be taken advantage of. So if you come through a buyer agency, our next step is that we're going to make sure after there's an offer that we're going to make sure, like as far as the seller side, we're going to have a seller disclosure that is required by law. So the seller they're selling your home, they have to make a disclosure. They tell you what's wrong with it from rudder to roof, if I could say that, everything about that property, and it's required by law. So if they lie on the disclosure, they could be taken to court. The agent could be taken to court, the lender, anybody that's affiliated with it. So they don't play with that at all. Another benefit is that we're going to make sure that you have a clear title, meaning that somebody not going to show up at your doorstep years later talking about I own this. So they're going to make sure that you have a clear title. Some sellers, they want to sell their property with other people, like your spouse may be on it and they just want to sell it, or another family member. They don't allow that. They're going to make sure that that title is clear. So again, like they're not coming back and say, hey, I own this. And they want to make sure there's no lead in the property. And that's one thing that's very important. So once we go through that process, we're going to go through, that's when the inspectors come in, you make sure everything is to par. With that, then you go contract to close, where we will work with the seller agent to make sure that everything is down to par. So you can just go ahead and go through the clear to close and hand you the keys, and you could be a happy buyer. So also with the buyer agency, there's something for everyone. A lot of people don't think that they can buy qualified. Um, we also have like special circumstances which you could buy, or special financing. We have lease to own programs. So like I said, there's something for everybody. We have seller financing, where you can work with the seller and they will help you. They will come up with their own process in selling it. You can also work with builders and investors. But with a caution with builders and investors, I would just say that with buyers, make sure you have a buyer, because like a lot of builders and investors, like I said, the market is really geared towards favoring the sellers. So if you're working with an investor or working with a builder, sometimes they say, well, you don't need an agent. For one, like I said, our buyer agency is free. So you might as well just go ahead. It's free to buyers because usually the seller pays the commission. But dealing with builders and investors, you want to make sure that your representatives, like going to court, other person have attorney, well, you want to make sure you have an attorney representation as well. So those are some of the benefits of the buyer agency. So I can talk about the seller agency and some of the benefits, like if you hire me as a seller agent.
Okay.
So as a seller agent, when I like to get to sellers first, but once you think about buying or selling, okay, I'm shifting, selling, most sellers, they want to fix up their home. So they want to do repairs. So the benefits of hiring an agent, so as soon as you find out that you want to sell, is that you can save on repairs. Because usually when you're selling a home, you're selling it as is, and you don't have to make necessary repairs. So most sellers, like I said, they want to make repairs. And then not only that, some of you are watching like home and garden TV. So you watch your home and garden TV. So you're thinking, okay, I'm going to make repairs. I'm going to do renovations. I want the granite, countertops, marble flooring. They want to do all that to make their house marketable. When in fact, that may not be a factor when it comes to selling. And you may spend a lot of money like on repairs and the renovations. And then you find out, like I said, it's not a factor, and you waste a lot of money. So the best thing to do is to hire an agent so you can save in that field. So let me see. Yeah. So at the same time, most sellers, they want to save on commission. Let me slow down. Because as a seller too, they fall into the home for sale by owners. So they might want to save money on commissions. So what I say about that is that it's all going to come out in the wash. So what you think that you may saving on, like I said, if you come to a realtor first to get the value of your home, we would tell you what repairs are necessary. So, and not only that, if you're trying to sell yourself, you have a lot of hassles. You may put a sign in the yard, and then the only people that's going to see it really is the people that live on the street, leasers, but leasers, they good already. You have people driving by, people that may get lost, and then they want to look in your house. They know, see, and they want to see what's in your house. And then you have investors. So with investors, this if you're not represented, investors will come to you, and the smart investors, like they all got realtors in their pocket already. So they know the value of your home even before you do. So if you're a seller and you're not represented, they may come and tell you, and they make you a deal, an offer that you can't refuse. And then you sell your home, and then come to find out you may sell it, at a less rate that you could have, and then you could be upset. So yeah, for sell by owners. So that's as far as hiring a seller's realtor. So the next question that people usually ask is, well, how's the market? So when you ask about, okay, the market, they want to know, is it a seller's or buyer's market? So who's benefited right now? So right now it's a seller's market. Meaning that, the reason why it's a seller market is because the inventory is so low. There's not a lot of inventory in the market. Now, if you look at it, the buyers that are buying in a certain range, just not enough of them. So I just talk about hiring a seller agent. So right now is like the best time to buy, because not only that, because of low inventory, the houses are flying off the market. And it has a lot to do with the pandemic, of course. So the sellers, it's a great time for them because their houses they getting at market value, pennies on it, to the dollar. And not only that, they are getting selling over, their homes are being so overpriced because a lot of the buyers are bidding for their properties. So like I said, this is like the perfect time to buy. Sell. Perfect time to sell. I'm gonna go into buying too, because even though it's a seller's market, there's advantages for buyers. And you may ask, like, housing advantage. We can't get anything because it's so the competition. But as far as buyers, it's the interest rate. So with the interest rate, it's the lowest that it's been in years. So right now it's at a 2.5% interest rate. So that's good for buyers. So if you're thinking about buying, like now's the best time to buy. Um, and the market could shift. So even though right now it's the seller market, it's hard to find something, get yourself prepared now. So when you get yourself prepared now, you'll be ready um, to buy when it comes that time. So right now, I want to talk about, even though I just explained about buying and your home being um, a big asset, great joy in home ownership. I also want to do like a kind of like a disclaimer, because I know a lot of people are concerned about this, because even though it's like your biggest asset, it can help with wealth building. Buying a home can also lead to debt. It becomes your biggest debt. It's your biggest purchase. But if you're financing, of course, it could become your biggest debt. So we don't want to go into debt, because we know that debt leads is slavery. So you want to buy within your own means. So I talked about, once you get qualified, and then a lender will give you a price range to buy in, like 250,000. You don't have to use that whole 250,000 to buy. You can do like 150,000. You can start with that, because the way the industry is designed, if they give you a home with your income and everything at that rate, it's designed for you to go into debt for 30 years. So you go into debt for 30 years, and not only that, you're going to pay double in interest. So you just bought two houses for the price of one. So it's like you don't want to buy, like, it's not like you buy two houses, but you like paid for it, because the interest is, if it's 250, if you go those whole 30 years, it's going to be $500,000 that you just paid for that house. So we don't want to get into debt. So to counter that, once you do get a loan, like I said, you don't have to use the whole loan, and you can double up on your payments. So you want to go into the mindset like, yes, this is a loan, so I'm gonna double up on my payments. We have, you have family members, they can help pay down the loan, so everybody can pay off a house, then buy another house, double up on payments. So another way that you can like lessen your loan is have a larger down payment as well. The more down payment, of course, that's the less that you're borrowing. You want to buy with a high credit score, a higher credit score. So if you have a higher credit score, then you're paying less interest. And also, there's another way where you actually can buy down your interest. Buying down interest, like I mentioned, that it's like 2.5% right now. You can buy it down to, I don't know how low that they can go as far as with interest, but you can buy it down to like 2%. So that would give you less interest over the life of the loan. So just consider that, because we do not want to go into debt. And that's that's a conflict that a lot of people have when they purchasing, because like, I don't want to go into debt. So just lastly too, I can't leave out our ultimate goal is our economic program, that we want to buy land. We want to be producers instead of consumers. So we want to buy where we live. So we want to get in the mindset of being builders, and having properties. We want to make communities where we have a decent and safe place to live, and we want to buy collectively. So right now, if you can afford to buy individually, that's great, because you'll be ahead of the game when it's time for us to come together and buy collectively, and um etc. Buy land of our own. If you want to buy land, you're gonna need a place to build a home. So you want to be ahead of the curve in that. And then, you're already responsible, you're financially secure, where you can go collectively and purchase a home together. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
Amazing. That's some great information. And thank everybody for watching. A lot of people in the comments sending you the greetings and
Oh, well, they
just
could fun.
soaking up this amazing information. How can people reach out to you um, to get your services?
Okay, if you want to reach out to me, of course, I'm at every social media platform, Facebook, send me a DM. Also on Instagram. I do have a business page as well. So you see me in the grocery store, stop by and let me know. I didn't talk too much about leasing because I'm talking about home ownership. But if anybody wants to rent, we do the same process almost like buying. Of course, we're gonna pull your credit, but we're not looking for your credit score. We're looking for if there's any evictions or broken leases, and then they want to make sure that you own at least 3 times, that you're making at least 3 times the rent. So for those that want to do leasing, and for like other specialties like commercial real estate, I don't specialize in that, but I I work with like people that I work with agents that do commercial real estate. So what I would do if you're interested, I will work alongside with them, or I would just refer them out 100%. So and that being said, also anybody, it doesn't matter what state you are in. If you're ready looking to buy, if you're looking to sell, just reach out to me. It doesn't matter what state you are in, because what I do is I will work with you until you are buyer ready, or you're even with seller. If you're when you're seller ready, and then when you're ready to buy or sell, I will refer you out to a local agent in your city or state that can actually work with you and help you to buy. So it doesn't matter what city and state. Anybody that's want to buy, anybody that want to sell, give me a call.
Okay, great, excellent. Well, I definitely will be reaching out to you shortly.
Okay.
Um, yes, ma'am. I'm working on some things, and I'm going to need some assistance with because I don't, I just need some assistance. I got the willpower and the financial stability very soon, so I want to reach out to you about certain things. And everybody
Okay.
else, we reached out to Salimah Muhammad on Facebook,
Yeah.
and your business. You said you have a business page on Instagram. What is the business page?
So I have a business page on
On
Facebook.
Facebook,
So
which is
you can
called.
see Salim Muhammad Real Estate, Salima the Realtor, um, Instagram. I'm not on Twitter or anything like that. Just my main is Facebook and Instagram for now. And that's where you will find my website and also my phone number.
Okay, great. Well, we look forward to supporting you. Everybody, we're gonna put this on YouTube. Please like, share, and subscribe to so that we can make sure that we support you and doing the great work that you're doing in real estate, giving us some amazing information, ownership. Man, it's just good that you took time out of your busy schedule to come on people's podcast, ma'am.
Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure. I forgot to mention that, but it's my pleasure. I appreciate you for reaching out, but it's my pleasure. Of course, being on this podcast and, being in the same opportunity with the greats, so I really appreciate everything that what you're doing. So for the audience, if Josh call you, you better answer. It's almost like being at the Apollo, That's what
Yes.
it feels like.
Wonderful. We're gonna put this on YouTube. Please like,
Mhm.
share, subscribe. Let's make sure we support our sister Salima and her real estate endeavors.
Thank
This is
you.
Joshua Leonard Muhammad signing off for the People's Podcast. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.